In a fresh escalation of rhetoric between Tehran and Washington, Iran has signaled the development of a new military capability that it claims could catch its adversaries off guard amid already heightened tensions with the United States and Israel. Well, the warning comes after Iranian officials reacted sharply to recent US statements, rejecting Tehran's proposed framework for negotiations and warning of increased pressure on Iran's oil infrastructure as part of the ongoing strategic and economic confrontation. According to the Iranian state-linked media, Navy Commander Rear Admiral Shahram Irani stated that Iran would very soon confront its enemies with a weapon that they are deeply afraid of, though he did not disclose any technical details or capabilities of the system. And his remarks were accompanied by pointed criticism of US President Donald Trump, who has repeatedly claimed that Iran's military capabilities have been severely weakened. Iranian officials dismissed all these assertions, suggesting instead that such claims are viewed as unrealistic and even ridiculed within military circles. The Iranian commander further alleged that the US had pursued rapid military and political objectives during the recent regional tensions but had failed to achieve its goals. He warned that Iran's response capabilities remain intact and that adversaries would miscalculate if they assumed otherwise. He also claimed that Iran had already carried out multiple retaliatory operations in the region since hostilities escalated, including missile strikes targeting US assets, and said Iranian actions had disrupted enemy military operations, though these claims have not been independently verified. Tensions were further inflamed after statements attributed to the US leadership suggested that Iran's oil and gas infrastructure could face significant disruptions if nuclear negotiations failed to progress. Iranian officials rejected all these warnings and mocked the predictions, pointing out that no such damage had occurred so far. Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Ghalibaf also weighed in, warning that global oil prices could surge significantly as a result of US policy decisions, claiming that crude could reach as high as $140 per barrel, and if the current strategies continue. Rear Admiral Irani also made reference to strategic maritime tensions, particularly in the Strait of Hormuz, stating that access for vessels linked to the adversaries has been restricted and is now subject to Iranian oversight. He described this as part of Iran's broader defensive posture and warned that any further escalation or proximity by opposing forces would trigger immediate operational responses. He further accused the United States of engaging in what he described as hostile maritime actions, including the seizure of Iranian vessels and detention of crews, which he characterized as unlawful. Despite all these tensions, he suggested that Iran continues to maintain operational maritime activity in key regions. And throughout his remarks, Irani emphasized that Iran's armed forces remain prepared for what he described as a regret-inducing response to any further confrontation, reinforcing Tehran's position that it will respond forcefully if pressured militarily or economically. And the latest statements reflect a continued cycle of escalation and counter-escalation between Iran and its adversaries, with both the sides maintaining aggressive rhetoric while signaling readiness for further developments in an already volatile regional environment. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment and subscribe to the channel.